Hey friends, if you're looking for quick tips to help you jumpstart your week, you are in the right place. I'm Lori Palau, host of the popular weekly podcast Organized Life, founder of Simply Be Organized, and every Monday I am here to bring you a quick organizing tip in under 15 minutes. All you have to do is click the subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening, and let's get started. Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's Tip of the Week episode of this Organized Life podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm so happy that you're here. We've been dropping these for, I guess, a month and a half now at this point, and everyone seems to be loving these short, little actionable weekly tidbits that I'm sharing. And of course, you can always get your weekly dose of our interviews every Thursday. So if this is your first time tuning in, make sure to click the follow or subscribe button wherever you are listening. And if you feel so inclined to leave us a review, we love that. We love hearing from you guys, of course, when you have nice things to say. So thank you so much for that. Today's topic is something that I've been doing for a while. It's kind of like one of those things that often gets like an eye roll or like that big sigh of like, dread for a lot of people. And it's about doing a monthly budget and why I do a monthly budget and why I feel that it's something that it's really important for people to do for multiple reasons. So just figured I would share my experience and a little bit about why we do this. So I think that it's really important in any area of our lives that we are intentional. I think that's really the foundational piece of everything that we're doing. I think in our relationships, it's important to be intentional. I think when it comes to organization, we are doing things with intention. In your job, you're doing things with intention. As a parent, if you're a parent, doing things intentionally is really important. And so many of the things that we do in our lives wind up just becoming on autopilot because we are overscheduled, overworked, over fill in the blank, overtired. And our budget and finances is an area where a lot of times it can just get the better of us if we are not intentional. And I will say that there have been seasons of Josh's and my life where we've been more buttoned up with our budgets and other times where we've just been kind of flying by the seat of our pants and praying at the end of the month that we have enough money in the account to pay our bills. That's just that's kind of life. But it doesn't have to be, right? It doesn't have to be. If that is you, though, there's no shame in that. I can understand and relate to that. But the purpose of a budget is really not to add stress to you, but it's to shine light on giving you a reclaimed control over this is the money that I have. This is where I want it to be spent. And maybe it is taking a hard look of saying, wow, there's more money or there's less money than I have than the things I want to do. Just like when you're doing a time blocking exercise and saying, how do I spend my time? And you're like, holy moly, I have 10 hours to get stuff done. And I've got 16 hours of things on my to-do list. The math doesn't add up. And so when you're looking at your finances, unfortunately, there is a level of black and white math, right? You have a certain amount of money that comes in, and then you have a certain amount of money that goes out. And when you can be intentional with your budget of knowing where your money goes, then it helps us to make healthier decisions. And there's a strong connection between how we spend money and clutter and organization in our lives. A lot of times we'll buy things out of an emotional response of, I'm stressed, tired, I had a bad day, I want to buy something. Or we're in a rush. We don't have time for things. So we're going to order out or go through the drive-through or do whatever. And all of these things can add up. And so when you start to look at where your budget might not be in alignment with what your actual finances are, Again, it's a hard look in the mirror, but I really have found for myself that it has given me a sense of control where I feel out of control. And sometimes it is a hard look. It allows me to say, okay, these are the things that I need to edit, just like you would edit a closet or just like you would edit your pantry. What are the things in my budget that I can or need to edit? And if there are things that you have that you can say, okay, for this particular season, we need to scale back here. Or maybe you know that you're in a really busy season of life. And so the reality of it is you're probably going to go through the drive through a few times, right? Like that's just what it's going to be, right? You're going to take your kids and that's it. Where can I scale back on other things? Where am I maybe spending money that I don't have to? Maybe we're not watching as much TV as we were, so I don't need to have 50 different subscriptions to streaming services or whatever that looks like. It also allows us, when we take a hard look at our finances and we do a budget, it allows us to make sure that we are not being charged for things that maybe we bought that we're not using. With so many things on auto renew, whether it's online subscriptions or recurring payments, you are every time I talk to somebody and I've helped them with doing a budget, they're like, oh my gosh, I did not even realize I was still paying for this. Or in Apple, we subscribe to some app and now I'm getting a monthly charge of 9.99, and we're not even playing this game anymore or using this service. So it forces you by default to really look at all of the things. And then once you have that, you are again just working that muscle of intentionality. So again, if you're not sure of how or where to begin using it, I mean, this is just my shameless plug, not a sponsor. I use the EveryDollar app. It's free. I pay for the pro version. So it syncs automatically with my bank. It's from Ramsey Solutions. I've been using it for years now, and I love it. I used to do a budget on a spreadsheet, but it just required me to continue to like go in and update. What I love about the app that I use is that it just syncs automatically. So it's constantly in real time and I can drag and drop expenses and I can change it and I can customize it month to month. And it again forces me to take a look at where our spending is, what seasons I know we spend more in certain areas than others, and it allows me to have a clarity about my house as a whole, all the things that go into running my house, from food to maintenance to clothing to food, like all of it, all of the things, all of the different categories. And once you have that knowledge, it's power. It's power for you to say, here's how I can make an educated decision. So again, I'm not pushing or advocating. They're not sponsors of this show, but that's what I use, the EveryDollar app. It's free if you want to get started. But then I love the pro version just because it does allow it to automatically sync with my bank so that it makes it easier for me to track the budget. If you have questions about how to start a budget or things that you want to know, please shoot us a message. I would love to talk about this because it is a skill set that not a lot of people know. And I think financial literacy is so, so important, especially for our upcoming generation of kids as a mom of bigs, to make sure that kids and young adults today have a sense of financial literacy and a foundation for that. So again, that's my tip of the week. And if you want to do it on pen and paper, you can start there. You want to do it on a spreadsheet, you can start there. But again, it just goes back to being intentional. So that's it. Until next week, Lori Palau. Make sure, again, tune in on Thursdays for our long form episodes and every Monday for our quick tip of the week. If you know somebody that you think can benefit from this, please click the share button, and more people that we can get in front of, the better. So thank you so much for your support. Bye.